That sun is blinding.
We gave her dinner, right? Yeah.
Yes, we gave her dinner.
I just saw it turn 7, so.
Welcome back to another vlog pod.
I thought you fell asleep there. Just
great, yeah, too.
Would this help?
That was a bad idea.
Would that help? Maybe? Almost? There we go.
I'm looking behind you. I just see eyes like, hey, you're getting too close.
She's like, if you come back one more step, I swear to God. Hi, Danglefoot. Oh, sorry, man. Hi,
yeah, she's definitely a danglefoot, that's for sure.
She's a foot dangler. Yes, if you can.
Okay, so here's some that's happened recently to us today outside of this blinding.
All week, essentially.
Well, it kick-started off with us getting a notice from our superintendent, Well,
no, even prior to that, in the week, between me getting sick, and then...
Yeah,
so
you got sick.
So I got sick.
I stayed home to tend to you.
Yeah, you played nurse, and then same day, later that day after lunch, it was like 2-ish, I think, we got the notice. It was 2 days' notice saying there's pest control coming on the Thursday, I think, and then, here's what you have to do to prepare. You have to gut all the cabinets and stuff, and you have to deep clean everything and make sure everything's clean, so that way when they, spray the pesticide, they're not spraying it on dust. They want it on actual contact of the area. So we're like, okay, well, usually when pest control it comes around for us, because we're not like severe in any way, typically it's like usually the gel is enough and then that's it. But they were really adamant about it because apparently the neighbors that we share a wall with to the right, and with them getting evicted, and then whoever's going in doing renovations and cleaning up after them, I guess, saw that they were infested by roaches and stuff and whatever else. So, which makes sense, because once someone's evicted, like whatever nonsense, it's not like they're cleaning as they're packing up. They don't give a f*** at that point. They're just like, you guys for kicking us out, and then they're just moving on with life. So whatever state they left it in was enough to trigger an infestation, and then by the time whoever showed up to see the place, to either inspect it or whatever, whoever the next person inside the apartment was, they saw whatever was happening with all these trespassers, trigger, cue pest control. And then all of a sudden, and so that's why they said it was mandatory. That was the main reason why they said it was mandatory, because they were like, that specific unit got infested, and so we have to do it, whatever. And just in general, like historically, we've never had a pest issue. The only times I've seen one gigantic roach one winter, because it was behind the fridge. That was our only major pest event. And then I saw one mouse before we had that seal put in at the bottom of the door. So I'm saying like the only interaction with like pests that we've had were cases of like, where they were like transferring, they were trying to commute from one dark place to another using our unit as the in-between. And I just happened to catch them. Or happened to see them. So other than that, the only other like gross bugs that I've seen have been like, on the windowsill every so often. And then, if there's something that got tracked from the laundry room, because they hang out there a lot. There was one over there that we saw at one point, and that was after doing laundry. It just happened to be. So, and then after that, like, we've only had the gel since we've been here 4 or 5 years. So I promise you we're not the issue, sort of thing. So like I was trying to convince the super, like, listen, like, we're like, the super's just like, just do what you can, and then they'll spray whatever you've prepped, and that's it. That's all they can do, and whatever. So, we finally get through what did we do? So the next day, I obviously was working from home, and then you also decided to stay home because since we had to do such a big job, with you working plus traveling time and coming home at like 5-6 o'clock in the evening, there was no way we would have been able to pack up everything the way we did. Like we got, I want to say 97% of it done on the Tuesday. Wednesday was like touch-up day for last minute stuff and like for any like last minute kitchen business. And then come Thursday when it happened. So Thursday when we had to like, and then also during this time, like we also have to, every time we're in a position where we have to like, you know, Tetris our house or Tetris our unit, or like we're not supposed to be around or whatever it is because there's a lot of chemicals or, you know, it's a health and safety precaution, whatever reason. That also goes for our cat too, right? So meaning that also means that whatever day that we're going to be taking off or the day we're not going to be home, that means our cat cannot also be home, meaning that also cues up us having to book her at the pet hotel to make sure that there's a spot for her for the day and hope that they can reserve like, you know, on such short notice. And thankfully they were able to with a couple days, and you know all the vaccinations were updated and stuff, thankfully, so we didn't have to worry about that. And you know then Wednesday comes, you know, I call them just to see like, hey, you know, while she's there, you know, the other person said they have a cat groomer now, so let's see what else that we can get done for her. So we added what they call the touch-up package, which is essentially just like a sanitary shave of like the legs and the bum area slightly. Then they do the paw pads if they can, and then they do the ear cleaning and nail trimming. So it's pretty essential, you know, just like enough to get by kind of vibe. And you know, so that was all booked. I was like, okay, cool. So that's set. Come Thursday morning, we're basically up like from crack of dawn, like 5:30, 6 o'clock. We're basically running because we have to drop her off at the hotel first. Then get her settled, drop her off, make sure she's not crying and stuff, even though she does every time we go in the car and stuff like that. And then after she's dropped off, then we're kind of free to kind of tend to ourselves. Then now I have to drop you off to work to get you there on time or as close as possible. And then once you're done, now I have to figure out what to do with myself for the whole day, basically. So you know, because you guys are in your own space in a sense, and now I'm just left as like a floater, kind of. And thankfully, I didn't have to be because earlier that day I was looking into what they call like a co-working space, and I found one which, funny enough, that gets used by the company that I just left called Village Hive because they have a location near them, and funny enough, near us. So I was like, oh, okay, let's see what the hype is about. If they use it, you know, there must be something good, maybe. And, you know, so you could book a private office for the day and you could use it to, you know, whatever you need to do, meetings, work, whatever you want. And so, yeah, and so I booked a room for 4 or 5 hours just to see what it's like. And it was pretty nice. Like, it had 2 desks, nice air conditioning. It had, you know, it was pretty spacious. It wasn't dinky. It wasn't like a cubicle or anything. Yeah, and then I got my work done, and then I got to just kind of like hang for a bit too, a little bit. And so, like, I could definitely say that because I was in that setting, I felt that I was able to not only be productive in a like a peaceful setting, but also I was also able to speed through my work and kind of like get ahead on stuff, and like time flew by quicker too. And so actually I forgot to mention that after I dropped you, when I came home, because I was hoping to catch the pest control person before I went out, because I wanted to make sure, like, hey, just so you know, I wanted to let him know, like, hey, just by the way, we didn't get to do everything, so I'll just tell you what we did, and then you can just spray those areas, and that's it. So when I come up the stairs, I buzz in, and I happen to see someone walking into the elevator, and I was going to the elevator. I didn't realize he was opening it. I didn't realize he was holding it up for me, so I looked over, and then so I went with him up the elevator, and I saw his shirt said the pest control. I was like, oh, you're pest control. And I was like, oh, well, my unit's like scheduled for today. And because he was originally going to the ninth floor, so he's like, oh well, if you're ready, I can just go to your unit. I was like, okay, cool. I'm like, okay, sick, perfect. Like the timing worked out. So I told him, I was like, well, we didn't get a chance to do the stove and refrigerator, unfortunately, but we got a majority of the cupboards. So he's like, let's take a look, whatever. And he's like, most of it looks good. Just move the dishes and from the sink, and then everything else should be okay. And then once that was cleared, he's like, okay, great, come back in 6 hours, even though I came back in 5. And then the day was done. And so when I came back after doing the work day, like just the immediate like fumes and chemicals, dude, like I'm convinced my lungs are slightly damaged and need like to repair so quickly.
You need a new inhaler.
I need supplements that repair lung tissue. If that's a thing, dude, I'm on it. And so,
dude, if that was a thing, do you know how many smokers would be taking the living piss
I know,
out of it?
but that's what I'm saying. Like, or at least like a lung detox or something. Like, you know the
Mullen does that.
Yeah, that too. Yeah. No, but I was saying that the kidney flush that I take, they have a lung one as well, which so essentially it'll be like a herbal detox in that sense. But, so then I come in, I air out all the things, all the windows, the fans are on for a little bit, and I'm like airing from the front door too a little bit as much as possible. And during that time, it was like a good 15 minutes, half an hour. And I'm like, you know what, and then I look outside, it starts raining. I'm like, okay, well, I don't want to go now to like in the rain or whatever. And then I was like, you know what, let me just call the hotel to see like how she's doing and that kind of stuff. And all of a sudden I ask about the grooming thing, and he's like, so what was she supposed to get done? And I'm like, well, it's called a touch-up package. And so, she was supposed to get like he's like, well, they did her nails. I was like, oh, she was supposed to get a touch-up package, like the whole thing, like the shaving, the ears, whatever. And he's like, okay, well, what I'll do is I'll talk to the groomer and see if she has time to tend to everything. Cool. If not, then we'll just charge you for the nails only, not the whole package, obviously. So I was like, okay, fine, so be it. And so that was taken care of. And then thankfully it was around like 3 o'clock-ish, 3:15. And also it stopped raining. So I'm like, okay, perfect. So now I can dip out. I can go grab you from work. And then from there, we went straight to PetSmart to go pick her up, and then we went straight home. And so it was just funny that like when we went to go pick her up, I think what I'm noticing is that every time we go drop her off to either like the vet or like the hotel, like any place that where someone else has to deal with her, we're starting to see like her personality like show in multiple ways. And so it's just really funny to hear like the feedback, because I'm like, okay, so we're not crazy, like, okay, so she's like this with everybody. This isn't like these are my parents versus these are random people. No, she's just straight up like
a sag, as you call her.
Literally. And so
I just say she's a stubborn little pussy.
She can hear you.
I don't give a
So anyway, it was just funny when she was like, oh yeah, I was trying to play with her and stuff, and she just kept giving me like looks, and I was like, you know what, fair. She would do the same to me, so I get it. I feel your pain. And so then we picked her up, and then we brought her home, and by then it was kind of like I also like cleaned up a little bit and used Lysol in hopes that it would actually like dissipate the pesticide smell. And then we brought her home. She was tending to herself and kind of hiding. And then what did we do? Did we start putting back that night, or was it the night after?
If I'm not mistaken, we slowly started putting some things away, not a lot. Like, I think predominantly it was the cleaning stuff we put away.
I'm saying? Like, we focused on the cleaning.
I focused, from what I remember, I specifically started focusing on creating a solution of both water and vinegar.
Yeah.
And using that to literally wipe down the base and the upper halves of the bedroom closet.
What ratio did you even
I think I did 1-to-1.
I don't think that was enough.
Like roughly 1-to-1. Well,
that wasn't,
because I was trying to make sure the vinegar wasn't completely like trust me, it was enough. It was just that I didn't like. I was using what I did incorrectly was I used the J cloth. I should use the proper
like a thicker,
a thicker towel. Like
I see.
the same way I had done it the first time around.
Yeah, with the blue one. Yeah,
that was more practical. But I had packed all that away initially. So when I got back to it, I was going at it with a J cloth with the same ratio of cleaning vinegar to water.
So with the J cloth, did you find that it wasn't like holding?
It wasn't holding, and also like again, you're like I'm taking a small amount, so I have to like hit as much surface area as possible with a thin piece of material that's holding a little bit like of that contact. Yeah. So had I done it the same way I had done it the first time when I was prepping, probably like because again, when I first initially wiped it down,
I think you're yelling.
I think it's just at this point it's just picking me up at a higher frequency in general.
Oh.
Like I'm gonna have to turn the volume down, or whoever's watching and or listening is like, "Ow, sorry." But basically, as I went over the cabinets and all the spaces, I had to like literally when I went over them the first time prior to everything being removed, it was a very potent smell of like cleaning solvent vinegar.
Yeah.
And then only
Hold on, sorry, I was just realizing. Shouldn't one pick up me when the other one should pick up you?
Technically should. I don't know why. I think Audacity is just having a weird conniption of sorts. So
this might not even work.
I'm hoping it will likely work either way.
Yeah.
And then I'll just have to make sure to splice it at according times.
Oh.
Simply put, there's a reason why I've been quiet the whole time while you were talking.
Like just in case.
For the sake of editing, it's lesser of a headache if I can split it accordingly or edit it. Like if you say something out of term or out of line or whatever, I can easily remove that. If I say something out of line and it's my turn to talk, I can cut that out if I want to.
Okay.
So it's ironically giving me practice.
I see.
Sorry, as I was saying, the solution I was using was perfectly fine. It was the tool, the rag I was using. It was a J cloth versus a rag. So the initial one with the rag was perfect because everything smelled like cleaning solvent. When I tried it the second time, when I'd already packed all that stuff away, I had to use the J cloth, and that wasn't the most absorbent. So I was constantly like soaking it, rinsing it, like wringing it, and then going at it as best I could. So that's why the smell predominantly was lingering. And then we had to go through various concoctions of
Pledge and Lysol and whatever.
First was Pledge to see if that Pledge air freshener to see if that would work. Then I tried rubbing
the dryer sheet
the dryer sheet down to see if that would make a difference. It really made a. And so I thought about, I'm like, okay, what's another thing I haven't tried yet? Because I didn't want to immediately jump to the cleaning that all over again because I had done it already. So I'm like, what's another best good alternative? I'm like, okay, well, what do you use in the fridge to keep it smelling good? And I remember there's Arm & Hammer baking soda in there, which is known as a deodorizer. So I started thinking, okay, now I got to go to the local Metro or order through Uber like a couple boxes and like just run through the house. And then I thought to myself, no, wait, we still have the Arm & Hammer for pets. So I'm like, it's the same.
Yeah, let's see.
If it's strong enough to cover the smell of cat and piss in a litter box, what are the odds that it wouldn't work for what we have?
Right.
So cracked her open, put about a single shot worth in like those little disposable solo cups, and put them throughout the cabinets. And I said, okay, we're gonna leave them for 15 to half hour. I want you to come back with your sniffer and test it out.
Did I even test it? I think
you did. I think you did. Because a couple times you kept opening up
Well, basically what was happening is that, I guess I subconsciously tested, in the sense of, when I opened the door, I didn't feel that waft of chemical, basically. I only feel it at the entrance.
Okay.
So now I'm thinking, do we need to put a cup there? But because she's nosy, we would have to saran wrap it or something.
We don't have to do it inside of the linen closet, because at this point smells like vinegar.
That's all I'm talking about. It's only when we entered the unit. Okay, just that first wind. That's where I felt it.
So maybe and then in
so
that
that's
case,
why I'm saying if we just
or what we could do, another alternative is that if we go to the shoppers and buy that air freshener thing, we could just pop open or whatever and then just put it on the table. Hopefully that'll aerate.
No, but the whole point is to deodorize it.
Yeah.
So what's equally as strong like that as an air freshener? Like if Arm & Hammer had like that air freshener type of product, then I understand us grabbing that. But the other thing, like hopefully because today's breeze was really nice, I'm hoping that circulates outwards back this way. So, we'll see if that works. And then if we still notice it after like a week, then it's like a problem.
True.
Then we have to figure out then we would have to go get an extra baking soda.
Yeah.
Just so we can have it at the entrance, like behind the door, basically.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
I think for myself, what really put me at a point of like...
exhaustion?
I've already been feeling pretty beat up, burnt out the whole night. Like I definitely need to go to my chiropractor as soon as possible. But in terms of when they gave us the notice to begin with, and I'm like, and then we read as to like which neighbor had previously moved out and where it was coming from and whatnot. And then it made me remember when we were getting our windows redone. And the nice
the guy that was working on it.
The nice Iranian Christian dude who was here talking with us.
He was telling us how they were a hassle.
He showed us photos of that apartment,
of the condition. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, no wonder there was a infestation or whatever was happening that triggered pest control.
And then from that point, when I realized that, I'm like, my first thought was me. My second thought was like, okay, what are the only main ways I can think of that would connect our apartment to theirs? And I started thinking, well, the only thing I could rationally say was like, hey, just spray the main door down.
So one thing is connected to them is the plumbing.
Okay.
So like how
they try crawling through the plumbing.
Potentially, yeah. Because you know how they built that thing on the outside where they can repair the plumbing from the outside wall?
Yeah.
So that is connected to both that unit and our unit.
Okay.
So whatever. So and also like the venting too.
Yeah,
the vents that potentially could So like there is. Fine. Put it this way: we share a wall with them. We're also gonna be not scrutinized. What's the word? Like we're also gonna have to go through the process.
Yeah.
For sharing a wall, it'd be different if we were across the unit.
Like the upside is even while we were in the process of removing things out of their location and sorting them, and then even putting them back.
Yeah.
The beauty was that we're fairly clean people to where even with like cat who and pisses.
Yeah.
And leaves crumbs all over her dining station. We don't have an aggressive pest issue ever, and we've had the gel put in, and that's kept it guarded. So I'm hoping that with the guarding of the gel plus the pests, which by the way, when we came back in and we were putting back into place, we both ironically enough got chemical burns.
Yeah.
On the same hand, but both different fingers.
But that means that the spray didn't even dry properly because that's how hot it was.
Sorry, but the point I'm trying to make is that we both simultaneously got contact burns from the chemical on the same hand but different finger. You got it on your index.
I got it on the index,
I got it on my thumb.
Yeah.
And I'm and after exfoliating, I'm still feeling like the skin
still tender.
Is still raw.
Oh yeah, it's still tender. Look at that.
Like
it's
just
like still pink.
Right here.
Yeah.
But I think out of the whole process, ironically enough, the only part of the whole process that I can honestly say I haven't been bothered by is that we got the opportunity to kind of really give ourselves a deep cleanse. Like we've ironically been able to, before, during, and after, we collected stuff that we could have to get rid of to like give to donation, which was a positive. So we had stuff going out, like literally leaving us because we don't need it anymore. And ironically enough, in the process of now putting things back and sorting through, we not only gutted crap we haven't used for however long, and on top of it, again, now we have more stuff we've been able to get the opportunity to go through, that we now have more stuff to, again, donate. Which, by the way, the closest donation box to us, we practically stuffed the...
But to be fair, that's only full now.
Yeah.
So hopefully by next week, someone, like in the 7 days, someone would have picked it up.
Hopefully.
And like cleaned it out or whatever.
If not, well, then we'll have to go to a different one entirely.
We have to find it. Or, I mean, there is a pickup service that does it.
That works
There are specific organizations where they set up like pick up and drop off donations and whatever
Yeah, we definitely look into
type
that
of
for sure.
situations. So we could do that.
So yeah, outside of that positive factor, like at least now, like the monkey has her little carpet station back. I definitely have to like go over her trees and rake the crap that she
Yeah. I
plumes
gave you the
onto
brush.
it.
Did you?
It's still on the desk.
Oh, okay.
Still gotta do that. But out of this whole experience, I think my only main idea going through the whole thing was like, okay, my only thing I want like this whole time, the bigger pressure I've been dealing with predominantly is the fact that my back, lower back, and back now in general needs the rest. I have not been able to get that all day. Now that we've settled in, now that we've put all our crap back in place, we've been able to take out garbage, recycling, everything, and we have a few bags ready for donation, ready to go. I even have stuff that in the apartment that we were going to be getting rid of. Like I'm planning on getting rid of on like Facebook Market on top of it, so I'm positive about that. But just the sensation of knowing that like, okay, it's come to a close. Now we just kick back and relax and just breathe, or attempt to breathe after having that much contact with like pesticide fumes. I'm just happy that now it's like we've come to that pass with it where we're done, and now we can rest. I need some ice. Maybe a stiff drink, but other than that, it's been productive, tiring but productive.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that really threw me off about the monkeys process was like for me in the whole ordeal was I knew again can't have her exposed, so putting her in the place was one thing. I think what bothered me the most about that, what made me laugh was that when she finally did, like, because we fed her prior to taking her there.
Yeah.
So I even told the woman who was at the front desk, like, she's had food and had
we fed
water.
her less than normal, though.
Fed her less than
That's
normal,
the thing.
but we still fed her.
No, I know, but
So-
I'm saying for sake of, like, when we tried to get her to go to the bathroom.
She didn't go.
She didn't bother.
So when we took her there, I told her, like, we're expecting result from the intake at some point.
Right.
And throughout, they told us, she was hiding herself in the corner the whole time. Like, not surprised a great ton because she's even at home she's a fairly like unless when she wants your affection,
keeps to herself.
When she wants us to nuzzle her, she'll come up and like wrap her tail or meow or whatever the fuck at us kind of thing. But in terms of when she's there with people she's not familiar with, like I'm not surprised she doesn't want to socialize with anybody.
Yeah, she's like, I just want my bed. So
literally they gave her a litter box to go do her business in and ended up taking the just outside the litter box.
Yeah.
That was comical to hear. And then when we got her back, I was anticipating like, that
more
she'd have a fuller haircut first of all.
I see.
Until you explained to me, no, it's just a smaller base package. So I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. We get her back and she's silent for a little bit of time. And that's when, ironically enough, in that process of holding her and us taking her back home, I started thinking like, this container, this little carry-go bag for her is kind of like she's claustrophobic. She's clawing at the. She doesn't like it.
Yeah.
Like she likes controlling her type of isolation.
She likes to choose her own type of environment. Yeah.
And that one doesn't give it to her. So for myself personally, I think we may need to look into a cat carrier that's either larger and better ventilated.
Yeah.
Or we're just gonna have to straight up line the back of the car with like
the training pad.
With a train.
Oh, see, like this is nice. That's what we need.
Okay, that could possibly work.
No, but the window's bigger. Extra large cat carrier.
Okay, fine. How much is it?
That one will be 90.
Expected. Point being, either that thing or we'd line the back of the car with pee pads and.
They do have a bigger one for 95.
Stick her on a leash and like I'll have to hold her like in place.
Oh, that's sick. So there is one and it comes with a litter box.
Inside.
Yeah, that's how big it is.
So we can literally put her in the back of the car with that, and she'll be fine.
Yeah, I guess so if you want.
Okay. In that case, put it on the list.
Maybe?
Yeah. But yeah, outside of the whole process, I think it was just getting her back and her being a little bit more quiet around this time around, versus when we first took her there. Stretchies.
Oh, she heard you talking about her.
I'm just hoping I got it at a good enough angle where she gets caught on camera too. Unless I've zoomed in too much.
Maybe look at the tail.
But yeah, overall, like it's mostly been predominant. It was just stressful because it's like it was the hassle of having to take that many days off when I didn't want to.
Yeah.
Like for taking care of you, I had no problem. Like that was didn't even think twice about that. But when it came to having to deal with the apartment crap, I'm like, this is a literal thorn in my side. Like this is just ugh. Like I get it. We share a wall with these, but like, come on. Come on. Like, I get it. There's a possibility of them coming over, but come on. Mm-hmm. Like, the frustration of having to gut things out, find a place to put them, rearrange a bunch of shit for us. It's like...
Yeah.
Which also reminds me, it's probably going to happen again, considering we're going to get the events redone, where we'll be able to, like, control it through a different system altogether.
Well, I'm hoping... Well, the other thing with that is that when they install the thermostat, yes, they're going to replace the vents to make it look nicer and stuff, but... It's the bigger factor of we don't know where the line is to connect the thermostat to.
That's also true.
So, for example, if it's like over there, okay, at the most we have to move the shoes, cover the TV. That's it. That's what I'm saying. Like at the most, the thing is that type of cover up, it's going to be similar to the windows in the sense of it's just going to be because of dust.
Yeah.
Not because of chemical.
Yeah.
That
true.
God forbid if we inhale it, like, you know, we're gonna die tomorrow.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. At least it's that kind of covering, and not like death on the line potentially.
Also,
kind of, you know.
What I found funny was that before we started the podcast, like after we had taken all the crap out, I grabbed the Tito's bottle, and I gave you a swig. I take a swig. Mm-hmm. It hits you down in the chest area, right?
Yeah.
Like the lungs.
Yeah.
For me, it hit my throat it lit up my throat the
because
quickest.
because remember, I was the first one in contact with the chemical, so it's probably fixing that for me.
And then on top of it, for myself, it was like an antibacterial spray on my throat because one of the guys at work who thankfully wore a mask predominantly throughout the time he was working, but dude was coughing up a storm. He had like his was wrecked. So my first thought was like, I have a feeling I'm going into this weekend with catching something, but thankfully. I've taken some meds, and so far I'm okay. I'm just gonna hope that it stays that way throughout the whole weekend in general.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, for right now, I'm just glad it's over. Got some stuff to sell. We got more stuff to send up for donation.
Do you want to put the stuff on camera? What you want to sell?
No, I don't. But yeah, so I'm. If it's officially summer, so I'm gonna be enjoying myself. A stogie now and again. So there are a couple spots near the house, or two specific locations near the house, which I want to check out. I've looked up their addresses, so probably tomorrow after church I'll probably be hitting up one and then the other, and looking into what's in the affordable category. Yeah. So there's some plans for that.
Okay. Yeah. So what do you want me to do?
I wasn't asking you to do anything.
Okay.
Oh, curious. Are you going to be joining me for church tomorrow or no?
No, because I have to catch up on work stuff for Monday.
Cool.
Now that, because today we had to use it for cleanup and everything, so now that that's done. Well, actually, it's only 7, so depending on how much I can get done tonight, then maybe tomorrow.
Okay.
Possible. And then we can go for a walk. Because you're wanting to do your stuff, right? So.
Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna make
it. I can join you for that too.
True.
You know, God forbid. If it's not too much hassle.
What would God possibly forbid?
Well, you didn't pitch the idea of inviting me to the walk after church.
That was under the assumption. That's why I asked. Are you coming to the church with me?
No, but I don't have to go to church with you to do the walk necessarily.
No, but more like 2 birds, 1 stone.
When you're done church, by the time you could literally pass by the house in order to meet with me, and then we can go off.
I don't disagree with you. I'm simply saying.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like if I don't go to church, then I can still go to do the walk with you.
Okay,
the outing.
That's fine.
Yeah,
I'm not saying no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So take a sip of your Pepsi and.
I did.
Take another one. Remember, this doesn't calm my ass down. It calms your ass down. I think that's about basically it for this one. I think we've covered everything, unless you Got anything else you want to cover?
No, I think that's basically, though, I mean, well, that's what happened, and, you know, and after just, like, cleaning up all my stuff, I think I'm just glad that, like, for me, I feel like after, like, donating all the stuff and getting my drawers cleared, it's just, like, I feel, like, finally just lighter, and also, like, we have more space now, and, like, this is what I meant when I said I wanted it to be breathable.
Yeah.
Like, just less shit everywhere, and, like, less, like, you know, organized chaos bullshit. Like, I think I'm out of that phase of living, of just, like, I don't like the organized chaos look anymore. I'm 30. Okay? So, like, let's keep it moving to just like, the next thing I'm going to do is probably, like, gut the bookshelf. And then maybe what we'll do is reduce it to, like, maybe, like, a 2-tier one of, like, any, like, if there's any, like, stationery or whatever and that kind of thing. Because
actually, coming to think about that, there's a lot of books in there specific, like, that I don't know if either of us really touches anymore.
Well, the spiritual stuff I'm keeping.
Okay, spiritual stuff you're keeping. I'm getting rid of mine.
Like, comics can go, textbooks can go, your pagan stuff can go.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's, like, majority of it, actually.
Yeah,
so.
basically.
And also the books underneath the sofa I really want to get rid of. Yeah. Actually, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to get rid of what was under here and put these books under here. Yeah.
Oh, you want to put...
No, I want to get rid of this stuff to make room for that.
Underneath.
Yeah, so there's less there.
Now, question. Of the books that you want to replace what's underneath here with that?
No. Are you? Do you think I said I'm going to swap it?
Yes.
No, I want to donate this to empty out that container.
Yeah.
And then take these books and put them here. So that way that's empty now.
How is that not swapping?
I'm not saying I want to put these out because I'm trying to get rid of these.
Yes, I understand that.
One of the places is going to be empty is what I'm saying.
Okay.
But swapping means that I'm trading places. I'm trying to empty one of the places.
No. Listen to what I'm... in terms of when I say swap, I mean, like, you're just swapping one batch of books.
Okay. I know what swapping means, but I don't think you do.
You're just transferring, at best. You're relieving this batch to add a new batch in.
Yeah, now that's empty.
It may be empty, yes, I agree with you.
Okay.
But you're just replacing it with a new batch.
I'm not replacing it with new books.
Okay, let me try this again. You're getting rid of the ones underneath the bed, correct?
Yeah.
Underneath the bed, underneath the couch, correct? In the tray, correct?
Yeah.
Yes, those are going out of the house.
Yeah.
Then whatever's there is going to go inside the tray underneath the couch, correct?
Yeah, but not everything.
Point still stands.
But
correct?
the point is that I would rather it off the bookshelf, though.
I do not disagree.
Okay.
Is what I'm trying to get you to understand. I'm simply stating, and this is where I was going with the question. What do you plan on doing with all the are any of the books that are on there that you want to move from there under here?
Yeah.
Are any of them of value to you still?
Yeah, like I said, the spiritual stuff's going to stay.
Okay.
The music stuff's going to stay.
Let's remove the spiritual stuff that you obviously want to keep, and the music stuff you obviously want to keep.
Then what else do I not obviously want to keep?
You have, like, other...
No, but that's what I'm not... Okay. I'm going to donate all the things that I don't want to keep.
Okay.
From both sections, obviously.
Okay.
Everything that still stands after...
You want to just...
Yes.
You want to trade it from...
I just want to empty it out.
And make that completely stationary stuff.
Make that completely... That's like... Whatever we tend to, that's like here...
More typical, more frequently.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Like, I'm trying to make this area more...
Because I figured any educational books, so to speak, that you haven't touched there.
Yeah.
For however...
No, those are still going to go if I'm not using them.
Okay, cool. Because in my mind, again, from basically what you just said, everything that's on the coffee table predominantly, yes, that's if I completely agree. You can, if you were to have put them on that bookshelf, makes perfect sense to me. If you were to put
because we need to organize this table too.
Yeah, we definitely do.
So if we can put some of this in a more out of the way space that we have access to.
Yeah.
that because we frequently use it.
Yeah.
Like, at least it's in a more stationary place rather than, like, just mixed in and assorted.
Gotcha.
And, like, more of a problem to find.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fair.
That kind of thing.
I completely agree with you.
Next question.
There has to be a next question.
Well, this one's done with. So what else you got?
Also, lift up your eyebrows, woman. There you go. Much better. Because she's like giving me the angry eye, like, what now? And I'm like, easy.
So you want me
conversation.
So you just want me to look surprised the whole time?
Better surprised than mad than agitated. Okay.
Imagine I'm just like, hey, go f yourself.
It works.
Hey, quit being such a.
All right, guys, that's been it for this vlog pod. I hope you have enjoyed. You guys know what to do: the like, the subscribe, the comment. All right, guys, hope you guys enjoyed. As always, stay tuned for the next one. Later.